Thanks a lot, Larissa. Also from my side, a very warm welcome. And yeah, my colleague Elizaveta and myself will guide you through the first steps, first insight of the SAP S/4HANA Migration Cockpit to be used to bring your data into the public cloud. Let's have a look at the agenda. And the first step, I want to explain how to orchestrate or how to situate the Migration Cockpit in the transformation story of S/4HANA. Afterwards, we go through the points to be done, to be taken into account of a data migration, what you need to keep in mind to plan your migration program. And afterwards, we go into the tool itself. We show you the functionalities, what's in, what's out. And Elizaveta will show you the Migration Cockpit directly in the system that you can get an real look and feel. How does it work and how does it look like? In the end, we make a short summary and give you some more links where you can find additional information afterwards. Okay, let's start. As you might know, there are different transition paths to SAP S/4HANA. You have the system conversion, the selective data transition, and the new implementation. All these are options to move your old system, either non-SAP or SAP, to SAP S/4HANA. The Migration Cockpit is located in the area of new implementation. And here you see, this is the only area, the only option where you can move data into the public cloud edition. New implementation, you know, this means you apply a new business model, new processes, and left your old system, your old business world behind. This is important to keep in mind. But how does it work, such a data migration? We were often asked, how do I plan? How do I organize? What do I have and keep in mind if I want to set up a data migration? Data migration is not an easy topic, and it's very often underestimated. That's why we recommend very often make a plan, make a project plan, go through all the possible questions, what needs to be considered if you plan your data migration. This is I don't want to go through all the different questions, just a few examples. Have an overview about your processes, about your business objects. If I talk about migration objects, you will see it later. What does it mean? What is relevant? Do I have a lot of data which I can only move automatically with a tool? Or is there also a part I can do manually? Then it's important to understand the new processes. You will have new processes in the cloud environment. It doesn't look like it is maybe in the SAP on-premise system you have possibly now active. You need to know, you need the knowledge, how does it work, that you can map your processes into the new cloud world. Maybe you can also check the dependencies between new objects, old objects, or between processes. Another important topic is prioritizing and focusing on business critical processes. What do I need if I start with a system? Is there something I can maybe put in later? What are my focus processes which are relevant for daily work? And as usual, keep it simple. Simplify your processes. Try to reduce your workload even on administrative side or on business side. And also very important, include all stakeholders. Align with them, set up an early project and cutover plan, bring together all the streams which are dependent, that you have a good aligned project plan ready if you start your data migration. Good. If you have planned everything, then you can have a look at the tool. The tool of choice to go into the public cloud is the data migration executed with the SAP S/4HANA Migration Cockpit. Keep in mind, this is only available in the new implementation environment. And this is so important because here we have a related functionality delivered with your SAP S/4HANA cloud license and shipment. This means it is included, and it's as soon you have your system up and running and your CVC configuration done, you can start with the Migration Cockpit directly. The tool is set up with a guided procedure. You will guide it through the complete process, starting with the selection of what do you want to migrate, how, and then starting the simulation and migration process afterwards. What we deliver with the tool and with the content, meaning the migration objects, I explained it later, is the logic, how to map the structures from the old world or from a non-SAP world to the new S/4HANA data landscape. We know we have new tables, new business processes, new data models applied in the S/4HANA, and this logic is already implemented and ready to run. As we deliver standard objects, standard content, which covers all the best practice processes, you will not need any development skills as long as you stay in these standard scenarios. For sure, if you want to change something, which is very limited possible in the public cloud environment, you can do this by using the migration object modeler. But here we have only a few objects released for changes. This can be found in the SAP Help portal. But here you need some of your development skills. Further, the Migration Cockpit is also integrated in the SAP Activate methodology. This means you will guide it through the different phases of the roadmap. You see which activities are necessary, for instance, in the prepare phase. The pre-configured migration content, I already mentioned this. I will come back to this later. Knowing what's in is important, but it's also important to know what's not in. So we are in the initial data load tool. This means we load data in an empty system. And it's used in a new implementation context. This means new implementation means starting a new system, without any history. This means we only provide the migration of master data and open items and balances. No historical data. What is not in? We are not an exchange tool. Yeah, there is no functionality to keep data in sync across different systems. This is not in. Also, the exchange of data or updates of data and such things is not in scope of the Migration Cockpit. The same for data cleansing. This needs to be done beforehand if you provide the data, the source data. And what is also not yet possible is the migration between different SAP S/4HANA systems. So this tool is really made to bring customers from non-SAP system or from SAP ECC system, from the old ERP world, into SAP S4HANA public edition or private edition or on-prem. SAP S4HANA to SAP S4HANA system is not yet possible. Okay, let's have a closer look on the process. As already mentioned, we have a guided procedure. This means we start with what, and this means select the migration object you use. So this is something maybe you can say, okay, my business unit say, okay, Fin controlling says, okay, I need cost centers, profit centers, and projects or whatever. Then you bring these business objects to migration object. You can check, oh, do I have a cost center migration object? Yes, then it's relevant. And this exercise you have to be done in the very first step, selecting the migration objects where the data needs to be migrated. Bringing the data into the migration cockpit is possible on two ways. We have a very proven approach, meaning this is a staging tables approach, where you as users provide your source data in template files or directly into the staging tables. You can upload them. Lisa will show you this later, and work with these data out from these staging tables. With 2402, we have a second approach available, which is called shortly direct transfer. And here we can connect via communication arrangement your old ECC system, your old SAP ECC system to the SAP S4HANA cloud system. And we can fetch automatically the data from your source system. This is done by the cockpit itself, while you are, as users, responsible for data provisioning in the staging table approach. So as soon as the source data are in the migration cockpit, you have the chance to transform the data, meaning if you have a new cost center hierarchy applied in your public cloud system, then you can here change the naming of the cost centers directly in the migration cockpit, or wherever you have different settings compared to your source system. If this is done, you can simulate. Simulate means the migration objects will be processed on API basis. This means the data will be posted into the target system as similar a user is sitting in front of the computer and typing in create cost center or something. The simulation checks if all necessary information are available to process the API in a proper way. And as soon here are the greens, the lights are on green, you can run the real migration run. Here you have, until you migrate the data, you have always the chance to go back. Yeah, this is important. And the API logic is used to ensure that you have consistent pool of data in your target system. Okay. Let's have a look at the migration objects. This is the first step you have to do, and we talk about this as migration content. If we talk about migration objects, we say, okay, we deliver content. What is a migration object? A migration object represents a business entity. Yeah, customers, suppliers, product, but also material, inventory, line items, all this stuff. We have a huge range of migration objects in place for the staging tables approach. And they are used to cover all the best practice business processes in the cloud system. As already mentioned, we provide this with corresponding APIs, which are offered by the SAP S4HANA development team, meaning all the line of businesses takes care that the migration content is working properly. Master data and transactional data I've already mentioned. No historical data. We have one kind of historical data object for historical balances in the finance area. But this is only a balance and not real documents which can be worked on. Good. Mapping. This is again the structure mapping between the old and the new world, which we deliver in the back with the migration objects. And it is possible to extend objects in the cloud in a restricted area. In on-prem, you would have more options here. But we are on the public cloud, and that's why it's only a limited scope to extend objects. Good. Then, before we go into the demo, I want to compare again the two approaches we provide. As already mentioned, we have the staging tables approach. This is used if you come from a non-SAP system, but also from an SAP system. The staging tables which are used will also created automatically by the Migration Cockpit in the SAP HANA DB. And you can populate these staging tables with the delivered XML or CSV template files, or you can use any ETL tools to populate these tables directly if you have a bigger data volume to migrate. And the direct transfer supports the data migration from an SAP system. ECC 6.0 is the limited version we have set here. It's connected via communication arrangement. And here, the Migration Cockpit takes care about the selection, which is based on company code. And what also important, it's only available on the 3-system landscape environment. So, and this is what Lisa will show you in the real life. Important is that we have one Fiori app to access the Migration Cockpit. And as soon as you create your project, you have to decide if you want to go with the staging tables or the direct transfer approach. As you see, we have a lot of migration objects for staging, but only a limited for direct transfer because it's really new. This number will increase in the future. But let's stop the slides view and I hand over to Lisa.
Thank you, Claudia. I will share my screen. Okay, I'm in the public cloud system, and I will show you the demo, how to migrate your data using the staging tables approach. As our session is called Fundamentals of the Migration Cockpit, I will show you the simple example of how you can migrate cost centers. And I will use XML template to fill the staging tables. So first of all, what I need to do, I need to open Migrate Your Data app. This is the name of the app for Migration Cockpit tool. And if you just started with a project, you will not see any projects in there. And what you need to do, first of all, you need to create a project and add the migration objects that you are going to use to migrate your data. So you need to click Create, choose the approach. In our demo, I will use staging tables. And give name to a project. to add the migration objects. So I will use cost center as I said, so I will just search my migration object, and you can choose the migration object and click the arrow to add it to your selection, but I also can drag and drop. Okay, and then I click review. And as you can see, the Migration Cockpit proposes you the predecessor object. So there are some dependencies and strict order how you need to migrate data to avoid any inconsistencies and inconsistent errors. In this case, the Migration Cockpit proposes me to choose the predecessor object, and I click select object to see. And it proposes me to add profit center to my migration project. So I click add again, and I see the overview of my project that I'm going to create. There will be two migration objects, cost center and profit center. As you also can see, there is some link to the documentation. It will guide you through the migration object. It will give you some additional information. For example, the predecessors or mass maintenance tool, or any information related to the object, what is in scope, what is out of scope. So it will direct you to the help portal. I click create project. And after some time, my project will be created with two migration objects. I need to wait till the objects are copied to my project. As you can see, they are still not ready for processing. Just need to wait a bit. I will wait several seconds, and if it will take longer, I will use another project. Oh. So as you can see, one object is ready for processing. It's the cost center. It's exactly the migration object that I will use for our demo. So I can start with the object. On the screen, you can see there is a specific order of the actions. If I open the arrow, so the Migration Cockpit actually proposes you the next step. For example, for the cost center migration object, it proposes me to download template. And I will do that in a sec. So after I download the template, I will need to upload file back to the Migration Cockpit to fill the staging tables. Then I will prepare the staging tables, check the mapping tasks, so to see the source value, the target value, if I need to change something, and confirm this mapping tasks. Then I will be able to simulate and then migrate finally. So I have already downloaded the template for this demo and filled the template with some values. I will show you how the template looks like. So this is the template for cost center migration object. First of all, as you can see, there are some highlights, highlighted orange cells. These are the mandatory fields that you must fill in your template. And also what you can see in the template, you can see the release. So every time you download the template, you can check the release of the template. And as you can see, I filled the template with 5 instances. I have filled some all mandatory fields and also some additional fields. And now I will be uploading this template to the Migration Cockpit. So I just close it. To upload the template, I click upload file. And I will drag and drop the file. It's the easiest way for me. There are different checks happening in the background. So the file is being checked if it's the right format. The content of this file is also been checked. And as you can see, now I got the status data successfully transferred to staging tables, meaning that the staging tables have been filled with the data successfully. So it also means that I didn't miss any mandatory fields. So at this point of time, everything is fine. I go back and see that I have 5 instances. So the cost center is pretty simple object. It has one table. I can also go in there to show you. Has master record staging table with different fields, and you can check the technical information there. And go back. What is more important now at this point of time? So we have 5 instances that were created and the staging tables have been filled. So the next step the Migration Cockpit proposes is to prepare staging tables. I click prepare staging tables and expect to see several mapping tasks appearing in this column. So prepare staging tables started. The running activities. Okay, now I see there are 6 open mapping tasks. And as you see, Migration Cockpit again proposes me the next action to check these mapping tasks. I open the list. And there are 6 mapping tasks created. This is the data that I have maintained in my template. Let's check the mapping of company code mapping tasks. So there is one source value and target value. So the mapping task is the set of the mapping values. In case of company code, I had only one company code maintained in my template. In case of cost centers, I had 5. So there will be 5 mapping values under mapping task cost center. I can go back. I do not need to confirm them one by one, but of course I can do it. In this case, I would like to choose all the mapping tasks and click confirm. Yes, I would like to confirm. At this point of time, there are also different checks happening. And if everything is fine, the mappings will be confirmed successfully. If not, the mapping will stay in to be confirmed status. So I refresh display and see that all of the mapping tasks have been confirmed except of one. So I would like to check this mapping task. I go to the mapping task and try to confirm it in there. And you can see I got an arrow. Contains invalid values. In this case, I would use the help. I open the help and see there is no company code. I will just check which company codes exist. And I see, I wanted to maintain actually this one. So I choose this value and confirm again. And the confirmation and successfully. Okay. Go back to my project. So I just download template, uploaded the values to the staging tables, prepared the staging tables, confirm the mapping task, and I'm ready to simulate the data. I click simulate. I can simulate all instances. In this case, I have 5 instances. I can simulate random 10%, random 500 instances, or I can perform custom selection. For example, simulate the cost centers from this value to this value from KS 001 to 005, for example. So I can perform also custom selection, but in this case, I don't have a lot of instances. I just start simulation for all of the instances. I can check the progress of my action in the monitoring button. So the simulation is just started. Need to be passionate a bit. I can also check the running activities. So after the simulation, I expect to get some data if the simulation was successful or if there are any errors. So after some time, I got the status in there, the simulation successful 5. So 5 instances have been successfully simulated. I can continue with the migration. So I click migrate all instances. I get a warning, but I am okay with this warning. So I start the migration. Again, we can check the migration in the monitoring or in the running activities. Running activities will lead you also to the monitoring. And as we can see, the migration completed successfully. 100 of our uploaded data was migrated successfully. What we can do the next, we would like to check our data. I can go to the instance screen. And on the top, I have the button, which is called Migration Results. As you can see, I can check the status of every single instance. I have migrated 5 of them, and I see the status success. Moreover, I can check the results in the corresponding app. So if I have, usually I need to have an authorization, but they have authorization, otherwise I wouldn't be able to migrate. So I can check the cost center in the cost center app. Yeah, you can open the new window and navigate to the app where the data was created. Okay, that was it about the demo. We successfully migrated the cost centers. I go back to the slides. And now we're ready to summarize and with the key takeaways. So as Claudia mentioned, Migration Cockpit is standard tool which is included in SAP S/4HANA and SAP S/4HANA Cloud, Public and Private Edition. There is no specific additional license needed. It's called Migrate Your Data app. You can migrate data from SAP and non-SAP source system into all deployment options in SAP S/4HANA, SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition and Public Edition. There are 2 migration approaches available with the Migrate Your Data app. First one is called Migrate Data using staging tables. It's the one that we just saw in the demo. And the second approach is quite new. It's called Migrate Data directly from SAP system. It came with SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition 24.2, and it just limited as for now with migration objects. So it has fewer migration objects as staging tables approach. And Migration Cockpit provided you the procedure and take you through the whole migration process as we saw in the demo, from the download template to migration. You do not need any programming skills to start using Migrate Your Data. There is a migration object modeler available with a public cloud. It's also quite limited in selection of migration objects and fields, but it exists and can also be used. Migration content, predefined migration content is part of Migration Cockpit. You can take benefit from not only the content, but mapping and also the automated mapping between template and target structure. The migration is performed via API. Additional information, where you can find additional information. We have fantastic landing page. This one is for public cloud edition. I will open it and guide you through the page. Just close this menu on the left. So this is our landing page. It is, as you can see, 24/8, so up to date. In there, we provide different materials such as presentations, videos, some guidance codebook. So I recommend you to start from getting started section. So we have different sections. We thought about this order. So if you are quite new to the Migration Cockpit, it makes sense you to check the demo video and the overview presentation. The presentation already comprises really detailed information about Migration Cockpit. And if you're already using Migration Cockpit and have specific question, I would recommend you to also check the cookbook. In there, you will find not only some detailed information, but also the screenshots. And you do not need to read from the start till the end, but if you really have a specific question, for example, how to work with the arrows, for example, Migration Cockpit. So you can just check the content and search for the specific chapter and check how to work with the arrow handling. We have also linked to the available migration objects. Very useful page. Maybe I can open it. And there you can see the list of the objects, and also you can filter under the migration approach, for example, staging tables or direct transfer. Yeah, and then as you can see, you can open even the migration object page and read information about the migration object. Very useful. Okay, I need to close. Again. Another useful link is release comparison. If you're upgrading to a new release and you would like to know what are the changes in the Migration Cockpit with the new release in the particular object, you can check it under, you can check it under the release comparison. You can check it in the overview under the particular release. For example, what are the changes for the new release, upcoming release? There are some objects renamed, some deprecators, but also you can check it for every migration object. For example, you're interested in customer migration objects, so you just find the customer from the list and check if there are any changes for the latest release. Okay. That was it about the landing page. We have provided the link to the landing page, and yeah, I hope you will be able to navigate between the different resources. We try to make it as useful as possible. And that was it for the demo and for the slides today. And if you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them now.
All right. First of all, thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Elizaveta, for these insights, also for the very detailed demo. I've also posted the link to the landing page in the chat for those who are not familiar with it yet. And yes, now is the moment also to post the questions. During the session, there were several questions in the Q&A tool, and I saw that both of you were answering them on the fly. So I'm not sure, do you want to give a short summary of what kind of questions have arrived so far? So we also give a few more minutes for the participants who are probably typing the questions now, but just a short summary, what kind of questions arrive in the Q&A tool?
Yes, maybe I can start. First of, the last question was if we can show the direct transfer approach. Do we have I don't know if we have an example ready, because this is not, you always need a system available which have a proper setup communication arrangement.
So to have a connection to the source system.
Yeah, let me check. We do not plan this because we have this looks very similar, yeah, except of the selection part. Where's my mouse? Here. Nevertheless, it came in some questions regarding content from my side. Customer vendor integration. Yes, there is especially in the cloud, it's an handling, because we do not say it migrate business partner. We are based on supplier and customer separately, and in the object documentation itself is the sequence, how to move, how to act with these topic separately. And we have, if I'm not wrong, also trainings materials for customer vendor integration, at least for the direct transfer. Then, yeah, special wishes for special objects were mentioned. Then the direct transfer approach itself, that is it's only available for SAP source system. This is just because we have implemented a selection logic, and we do not know how the non-SAP systems are built. That's why this is only for SAP owned systems available. In on-prem, we have different scenarios on different SAP system like EWM or APO or something. This is not yet set up in the cloud environment.
Regarding the direct transfer demo, I can add to the video that we have for the private cloud. So we have the video for direct transfer for private cloud. We do not have any separate demo for public cloud, but I can post in this answer chat the video to private cloud. So it looks the same, except of in public cloud there are fewer migration objects available for the direct transfer.
All right, this is probably the answer to the question that just arrived. Please give the demo of migration of data directly from SAP ECC.
Yeah, maybe I can share just to show you. This is share button. Let me share. This should be right. So here we have, this is an internal system, but no secrets. We have here, this is only one object, and you see it looks very similar, right? You have here not the upload and download functionality for the template files, but you have a select data button by which you start. And this is the only difference. You have here the instance number. So the data will be stored not in staging tables, but in kind of intransparent tables or cluster tables, as you know this from the old ERP world, a similar logic. And from here out, it will be processed. And here you have the same guided procedure also for the direct transfer. Yeah, and if you go back, you see here we have. As already shown in the demo, you have here these two different possibilities. And here you have to name the communication arrangement, the name of the communication arrangement you have to enter as when you creating the project. This is the only difference here. All others is the same.
Right. So in the meanwhile, I saw that Lisa have suggested the link to the video of this similar migration process. So I hope this helps to understand how it works. And there is one more question in Q&A tool. Do we have any content online on SAP Learning Hub for direct transfer from a legacy system?
Learning Hub we have.
I'm just busy searching.
All right, we are trying to do it on the flight, but you already receive a bit of applause and thumbs up from the participants. So I think, oh yeah, so all the applause goes to you.
Yeah, it's very worthy to check the landing page. We really try to do our best to, especially in the cookbook, there are besides the normal documentation in the help portal to bring up some special topics where the user often struggles, or also with transports of projects if you are moving between systems. Yeah, for sure in the on-prem area you are a bit more flexible, and I think we also provide an on-prem session in later. So also if how to work with extensibilities for your objects, what is necessary, what is possible in the cloud area. Please check the landing page. We collect everything and we keep it updated, and this is a really good basis to start with the migration. And we are also reachable via our inbox. So if you have any question, this is monitored on a regular basis. So feel free to contact us if you have any questions here.
All right. So I also saw that you included the links to all these additional materials to your PDF, and the PDF will be also available together with the recording. It will be uploaded on the playlist on YouTube. I've already posted the link in the chat. And I think by the end of the week, the video of today's session will be uploaded. So there is one more question arrived. Is it mandatory to run a CYE cockpit before using the migration cockpit?
No, there's just a special handling in which sequence and which what needs to be done first, but this is all in the documentation.
All right. So we are targeting the end of the session. There are just a few more minutes left. So if you still have a question to our ladies, please go ahead and do it now. If not, then as I've already said, the materials will be available, and you can also reach out to Claudia or Elizaveta directly if you have some specific questions. So I can't see more questions in the chat. Now I think it's a good moment to thank you to our speakers for these insights, for very detailed demo. Thank you for all the audience for being with us. Great to have you, that you keep pace with us and also join our sessions weekly. You see, you get a lot of applause and hearts, and I think it's a great appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have one raised hand. Let's see if it's no, there is no raised hand anymore. So with this, yes, I will close the session now. We will in August, we do not offer sessions. This will be a vacation months, and we will resume our sessions in September. For all of you who is in the audience, we wish you great break and hope to welcome you in September. And to you, Claudia and Elizaveta, thank you very much and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.